Hi there guys, my name is The Reaper, and today's video I'm going to be having a bit of a rant about pre-order bonuses. So this is a video I've been wanting to do for a while now. It seemed like a perfect time to do it considering what's just happened with the Deus Ex Mankind Divided pre-order, which I'm just going to run through now. So basically, pre-order bonuses are considered by a lot of people, including me, to be kind of anti-consumer. A lot of the time they're done for dishonest reasons. The reason companies will send out pre-orders is they want people to, ahead of the game's release, they'll put incentives out to pre-order, they'll give you extra content, so people pre-order, their money's tied into it, therefore it's less important, although obviously it still matters, it's less important post-release reviews or it's event launch problems. If they've already got your money tied into the game through a pre-order, they want as many as possible, therefore it's not going to affect them as much after the game's launcher has problems with reviews or sort of bugs, issues, or sort of a backlash due to that, etc. So basically companies push pre-orders, and a lot of the time, as in this example, they do it in a very dodgy way. So basically Mankind Divided is the next in the Deus Ex game. So we had Human Revolution in 2011, which a lot of people, including me, very much enjoyed. Very good game. We now got Mankind Divided coming up. It gets released in February of 2016. I can't remember exactly what day, but it's February 2016. The pre-order model has just been released, and it's causing quite a bit of backlash, and it's a good topic to talk about. Basically, they've done this, what's called Augment your pre-order system. So basically, they've given a tier system of pre-orders. So what happens is, if you pre-order a game, you get access to this tier system. So if you pre-order a game, you get access to tier 1, which has just come out. So this pre-order went live on the 1st of September. It's now the 2nd, so I think it was literally when it ticked over from August to September at midnight, I think the pre-order went live. So if you pre-order a game, you get access to this tier system. Tier 1's already unlocked. So basically what happens is, if enough people pre-order the game, then unlock the next tier, and everyone will get access to either one of these two things. And then tier 3, tier 4 and tier 5. So if enough people keep pre-ordering the game, they'll unlock all the tiers, and everyone who pre-ordered the game will get access to something or the single thing that's in each of the tiers. So tier 1, they'll get one of these three things. Tier 2, they get a choice of 2. Tier 3, they get this. Tier 4, they get one of these two. And tier 5 they get this. I'm going to go on to tier 3, which is this mission, and tier 5 early release in a second, because it beggars more explanation. Problem with this is, as in many pre-order bonuses, it's just literally a way of locking off content to try and push a pre-order, which is quite a dishonest way of doing things. So for example, if you pre-order at the moment, tier 1's just become unlocked. You get either the Intruder Pack, which gives you access to sort of better stealth stuff if you want to take that path. So you get 2 EMP grenades, 10mm pistol ammo, 1000 credits and a practice point in the game. You can get the Enforcer Pack, which gives you 2 high explosive grenades, combat rifle ammo, 1000 credits and a practice point. Or you can get the Classic Pack, which gives you a revolver, a pack of ammo, 1000 credits and a practice point again. So if you pre-order a game, you get a choice of one of these three things. So basically they advertise it as a way of you being able to choose your pre-order bonuses. Problem is, they actually word this stuff as DLC. On the tier 1 thing here, they actually word this as DLC. I'll show you the video they used to explain the system in a moment. They actually word tier 1 specifically as DLC. If you pre-order the game, you can get free access to DLC. Basically, it's as with other pre-order bonuses, to pre-order stuff. If you pre-order the game, you get extra stuff as incentive to pre-order. I'm not suggesting they're going to botch this game. I'm hoping, and I'm still probably going to be getting this game when it comes out. I won't pre-order. If it gets released, I'll probably still get the game when it comes out. It just means they push the pre-order, therefore it's not as big a problem for them if it doesn't sell so well after the sort of game gets released, if they have reviews or technical difficulties with the game. Problem with this system is a few different problems. Firstly, the nature of the stuff that's in it, So tier 1, they've already released, basically you get bonus stuff if you pre-order. If you don't pre-order it, they've worded this as DLC, therefore they're probably going to charge for this after that. So basically they're locking off content which you're going to have to pay for afterwards if you didn't pre-order the game. If tier 2 gets unlocked, or when it gets unlocked, I don't know, I'll get onto this in a minute, you can get the choice between either a digital art book or a digital that's OST, is original soundtrack sampler, so you don't even get the full OST. So you get the choice between either the art book or the OST sampler if you pre-order and enough people pre-order the game to unlock tier 2. Tier 3 is where it starts getting a bit more dodgy. Tier 3, you unlock, it's worded, again I'll show you the video in a moment, as an exclusive mission. So tier 3, if you pre-order the game and enough people pre-order to unlock tier 3, you're going to get access to an exclusive mission. So basically what's happened is, before the game's even released, they're making the game right now. It's only just turned September. The game doesn't even come out until February. They've already gone, right, this mission, we don't think it's too integral to the story. We're going to cut it out, and you can only get it if you pre-order the game. After the game gets released, they might consider this DLC as well, because they're going to want, it gives them extra opportunity. Everyone who pre-orders gets this mission. If you don't pre-order, you basically miss out on content. So basically it's day 1 DLC, the same old thing. You miss out on content if you don't pre-order the game. So basically they use it as an incentive. However, once the game's released, tier 3 and the tier 1 stuff, and again with the tier 2 and the other tier stuff, there's going to be a mission they've cut out the game before the game's even released as a pre-order bonus. After the game gets released, they can then sell this as a DLC. They can go, oh, I've got this mission lying around, which a lot of people don't have, because not everyone pre-ordered the game. Therefore, we're going to sell this, and you're going to have to pay extra just to get this mission that should really be in the game already, just because you didn't pre-order. So basically, it's day 1 DLC, they cut content out, and it's, well, frankly, bullshit.
This is bullshit!
Tier 4. Digital comic book or novella. This isn't as bad because so the tier 2 and tier 4 are a bit better because they're stuff you wouldn't really expect to get as standard with a game anyway. If I bought a video game, self-Steam or just a box copy, I wouldn't expect to get this sort of stuff as standard, and if I did, it would be kind of a bonus, a little extra added bonus. So having this isn't as bad on a pre-order because it's not integral to the main game. Although again, it's still, you pre-order the game, you get this stuff that you're going to have to pay separately for if you want anyway, which is quite ridiculous. This is the real kind of, tier 5 is the real kind of, don't know what word to use, a lot of controversy over this. Early release. Basically, if enough people pre-order to unlock tier 5, the game gets released 4 days early. If we go into more details here, the FAQ, if I scroll down, it says, what does early release mean in tier 5? If we hit our predetermined global pre-order goal for Deus Ex Mankind Divided, we will release the game 4 days earlier than our official release date. As far as I'm concerned, this wording is still pretty ambiguous. Some people, I think a lot of people, would interpret this, and to be fair, this might be the meaning. I might just be reading a bit too much into it. As a lot of people will consider this, we will release the game 4 days earlier than our official release date. Is that for everyone? Or is that just for people who pre-ordered the game? It doesn't make this clear. I think if it was for everyone, they would have made this clear that it's for everyone. But the problem is that we released the game 4 days earlier than our official release date. They've got the ambiguity in this wording, which doesn't say who for. Because it says tier 5, and it's a tier 5 unlock 4 days early release if tier 5 gets unlocked. We will release the game 4 days earlier than our official release date. It doesn't say who for. And if I scroll up, they've got the argument. They've got a bit of ambiguity in the wording. It doesn't say specifically that everyone gets it. It just says they'll release 4 days early. They haven't said for who. And it says specifically in this first section here, it is, let me find it. As a participant, you get to choose one reward from each tier. So tier 5's only got one reward, so you'll get to choose that one. As more tiers are unlocked, the available rewards become bigger and more exciting. As a participant, you get one reward from each tier. It says specifically in here that you have to pre-order the game to unlock it. So basically, they've got the ambiguity in the wording. They don't say exactly which people, either just people who buy the game, or basically are they going to release it early, or is it just only if you pre-order the game are going to get this release. However, they've got the defense of saying, to get access to this tier system, you have to pre-order the game. The 4 days early release is listed as a tier 5 unlock. Therefore, they can claim, if they want, don't know what they're going to do or what their intention is, but considering how ambiguous the wording is down here, what does early release in tier 5 mean? We released the 4 games earlier. It doesn't say specifically for everyone or just for pre-order customers. And it says to get access to this, you have to pre-order. To get access to the tier system, you have to pre-order. And you get one choice from each thing if you're a participant in the pre-order system. Which is, frankly, ridiculous. How do I participate in pre-order? Anyone can browse a pre-order website. You must pre-order the game to gain full access to it. Here we go. So basically, how do I receive my tokens to unlock my reward selections? Basically, you have to pre-order the game to unlock this thing. So basically, it's just a way of being very ambiguous wording on this. So basically, this whole thing, frankly, is a bit of a joke. They're taking out content specifically for pre-order customers. They've actually worded this as DLC. I'll show you the video, as I said before I go, explaining how the system works. This tier 1 stuff, they've actually worded as DLC. So afterwards, they're probably going to sell this stuff as DLC, which you're going to have to pay money for if you didn't pre-order the game. Tier 3, they've taken a mission out specifically to put in for pre-order customers. Tier 5, the wording on this, not everyone would agree with me. Some people might interpret that to mean everyone gets it. However, the wording they've put on the FAQ, which isn't a very good FAQ, says we will release the game 4 days early. They haven't said who for and who's going to have access to it, which is why people are asking this question. People would expect that question to be on the FAQ to answer it. They've just made it more unclear. People don't know whether or not if you have to pre-order the game to get the early release. The reason I think that's happened is if they say everyone is going to get access to the early release, then people, and if they hit the pre-order, if they hit tier 5, everyone's going to go, well, I'm not going to bother pre-ordering because everyone's going to get access to it. And that's going to piss off the people who did pre-order. And it's going to cut the amount of people who do pre-order, because as soon as tier 5 is unlocked, people are going to say, well, the early 4 days release is probably, for most people, going to be the best reward. So therefore, if that's already unlocked for everyone, I'm not going to bother pre-ordering. So they have the ambiguity in the wording, which means people are worried and they're going to pre-order just to get the early release. And they've got the advantage in the more details FAQ section of saying, well, it says that you have to be a participant to unlock these rewards, you have to pre-order the game. So basically, it's just a really ambiguous, dodgy way, I think, of doing that. So tier 3 and tier 5 and tier 1 are just, frankly, a really anti-consumerist, dodgy way of doing something. It says pre-order today, again, this wording, pre-order today to unlock tiers and choose your own rewards, and up to 4 rewards and early release of the game. Again, pre-order today to help unlock tiers and choose your own rewards. Earn up to 4 rewards and early release of the game? Does that early release of the game for everyone, or is that just another reward? So you get the 4 rewards and early release of the game, is that for everyone? They haven't made it clear. So again, really stupid thing. Other thing to point out, the more people that pre-order a game, the more tiers get unlocked. They've said percent, 25% to unlock tier 2. It might be then 50% tier 3, 75% to unlock tier 4, 100% to tier 5. I don't know if that's exactly how it works. I imagine it might be, just because the aggregates would fit pretty well. So 25, 50, 75, 100%. They haven't said, there's no figure that I can find that says what the target is. It's just as a percentage. So say the target to get to tier 5 was 100,000. It's probably going to be more than that because these games sell in the millions. Say it was 100,000. The pre-order's been going a bit. Say a flood of pre-orders come in. In under a week, they could have 100,000 pre-orders. They hit tier 5. Tier 5's then unlocked. So then, well, people are like, well, there's no big rush to pre-order. Now we've unlocked all the tiers. And if the wording was clear on the early release, if a bunch of people pre-order the game, already hit tier 5 unlock because they knew what the target was. So people go, okay, we know what the target is. We all pre-order. We've hit tier 5. If they then make the wording clear on the early release, if they said, well, everyone gets access to the early release, everyone goes, well, they've unlocked all the tiers. If the early release is for everyone, I won't bother pre-ordering because there's no you get the other benefits, but that's probably for most people going to be the main one, is the 4-day early release. So then no one pre-orders. However, if they make it a percentage, people don't know what the figure is. It could be 5 million. It's probably not going to be that high, but people don't know what the figure is. Therefore, they worry, hang on, we want to unlock all these tiers so everyone gets access to the mission and all the extra sort of DLC type stuff and the 4-day thing. People want to get to the top tier. So people don't know what the figure is they need to unlock. It just says 25% of the total goal. No one knows what that is. So that keeps kind of the pressure up for people to pre-order because people are like, are we not going to get enough? We should pre-order. We want to unlock that tier. Again, so the ambiguity, again, works to their favour. 25% of what? They can... I don't know what the official figure is. No one does. They can probably pick whatever they want. They can change it if they want. I don't know. They might have in the terms and conditions. It might be subject to change. So therefore they can say whenever they want, oh yeah, we've hit 25%. And then they hit tier 5. Thing is, they're going to actually want to have all these unlocked because they don't want to get to near the release and say, sorry, we only unlocked tier 3 because not enough people pre-ordered, because that's going to piss everyone off that they didn't get tier 4 and tier 5 because tier 5 is probably the biggest reward. However, if they put a number, if enough people hit that number, then people aren't going to bother pre-ordering. So, using a percentage, people don't know how close they are to the total goal, which keeps the pressure up for people to pre-order. So again, they use the ambiguity which I think is pretty dishonest, to try and push people to get the tier 5 reward. And basically, I think this whole thing, I am really looking forward to this game. I probably still will get it. I love the Human Revolution was great. The footage of Mankind Divided looks really good. The augmentations look good. It does still look like a really interesting game, but I just think this whole system, just for those reasons, is they're taking content out, which they've worded it as DLC. They're going to charge for this afterwards, I imagine, because they've said it's DLC. So when the game comes out, they'll probably say, right, this is DLC. The mission might become paid DLC. And the early release, they've been really ambiguous as far as I'm concerned with the wording. So I think this whole thing is just ridiculous. Again, they've been ambitious with this wording as well in the title. So, frankly, kind of pissed off. I think a lot of people are as well. I just thought I'd lay out the specific reasons why in particular this kind of method is bad. So I'm going to move on. So that's one example. Okay, so I'm just going to go on to my second example now. So Deus Ex, the Mankind Divided one, was the main one I wanted to talk about. This was the other one, which is Blood Bowl 2, which comes out in late September. So the pre-orders are gone up for this now. So the problem with this one is, not quite as bad as the Deus Ex one, however, still a good example of dodgy pre-order practices. So basically, if you pre-order Blood Bowl 2, there are 8 races as standard in the game. If you pre-order for PS4, you get Lizard Men on top of these standard 8 races. If you pre-order from Xbox One, for Xbox One, not from Xbox One, pre-order for Xbox One, you get Wood Elves. If you pre-order it from Steam, you get either the choice between Lizard Men or Wood Elves. But if you pre-order from Amazon, as opposed to Steam, you only get Wood Elves. You don't get the choice between Lizard Men or Wood Elves. So this is the difference between the digital version, which you can get on Steam, or the Amazon version, which is I believe, might be a box copy, might be digital. Either way, you probably have access to both. Either way, you only get the additional race of Wood Elves. On top of that, if you get the Steam version, you also get 3 weeks multiplayer beta access before the game actually releases. So you get 3 weeks beta early access, whatever you want to call it. Either way, you're playing the game 3 weeks before everyone else. It's not a beta at that point. They've already released. The game should be in working order. And you get the choice between Lizard Men or Wood Elves as opposed to just getting Wood Elves. So this is just another example of that. Standard in Blood Bowl 2, you get 8 races. This is less than the first Blood Bowl game now has, but that's a separate issue. Basically, they're advertising you get 8 races when you buy Blood Bowl 2, which is coming out in September. If you pre-order, you then get Lizard Men, if you get the PS4 version or the Steam version. If you get the Xbox One version or the Amazon version, if you get it on PC, you then get Wood Elves on top of the standard 8 races. Point mate, they've made 10 races that work, that are fully functioning, that can be played in the game on release. There are 10 working races. They've cut out 2 and put them only as pre-order bonuses. Even if you do pre-order, you only get Lizard Men or Wood Elves, and if you're on PS4 or Xbox One, or you want to get it on Amazon, you're locked to the choice of one anyway. So basically, they've got 10 races, they've taken 2 out and said, I'll tell you what, we want to push the pre-orders, just in case the reviews something we don't get as good as we'd like reviews on the launch, or just in case there are any technical issues on any of the versions, which will probably be the PC version, if there are any technical difficulties. So basically, they can just push the pre-orders. We're going to cut Lizard Men out, cut Wood Elves out. You can only get those as pre-order bonuses. What will probably then later happen down the line, which is what happened with Blood Bowl 1, they released additional races after the game. So the game, I think Blood Bowl 1 also released with 8. Later down the line, you could pay to upgrade to either Legendary or Chaos Edition, depending on what time frame. So later down the line, when the other races were released as DLC, you could pay to upgrade so you get more races. Or if you hadn't bought the game yet, you could then buy the game as scratch, but it was more expensive than it originally was, and you got all the additional races. Problem is, if you don't pre-order, you only get 8, or if you do pre-order and you get 9, say you don't get Lizard Men or you don't get Wood Elves, even if you do pre-order, they're then, I imagine, going to want to release those races at some point because they've made them. They're going to add that to whatever DLC, whatever upgrade that comes in later down the line. So basically, just because you didn't pre-order, you don't get 2 races, or even if you do pre-order, there's one you still don't get. Later down the line, you're going to have to pay for these races that are in the game, whether or not you pre-ordered, although you're going to have to pay for 2 more if you didn't pre-order. You're going to have to pay for these just because they should have been in the game on launch, but they've cut out just to push the pre-orders. So basically, they've cut 2 out, which you're going to have to pay for just because they've cut them out of the first game and you decided not to pre-order. Even if you did pre-order, the PS4 fans, there might be a guy who wants something PS4 wants to play Wood Elves, or an Xbox One guy wants to play Lizardmen. No, they've taken 2 races out. They're pushing pre-orders. Even then, you only get 1 more race. And it's just utterly ridiculous. You're going to have to pay extra for races, which should be in the game as standard. Later down the line, when they release all the other, more races, they're going to charge you for Wood Elves and Lizardmen, even though they cut them out from the original game and limited them to pre-orders. On top of that, the differences between the Steam version and the Amazon version for PC. Steam version, you got 3 weeks multiplayer beta access, and you get the choice between the Lizardmen or Wood Elves if you pre-order from Steam. If you get it from Amazon, I don't really like Amazon. I don't think they're a very particularly moral company. I don't know the way they do things. However, Steam, through one way or another, have got a leg up over Amazon because you get the choice between races, you get the beta access. If you get it from Amazon, you don't get the beta access early, and you can only get the choice of Wood Elves. You can't get Lizardmen. So, essentially, the Steam version gets an inherent advantage over the Amazon version. So, the Amazon version may be cheaper, however, they're going to have to price it cheaper. Otherwise, Steam is just going to have a leg up. So, Steam, with the additional benefits, are going to have a one-up over Amazon. So, on top of the annoying pre-order limitations on what races you can play, they've also done deals with different distributors. So, they get advantages. I don't know, I'm guessing Steam have had to give something on their end, or had to have some incentive for Cyanide to say, give us a better pre-order deal than Amazon. So again, that's going to screw over people who want to buy maybe a box copy from Amazon as opposed to a digital version. So basically, another example, you got to pre-order, otherwise you lose 2 races which should be in the game. They've cut them out. They're going to then sell those on later down the line as additional races which should be in the original game. It's just another example of a shit business practice. So basically, I just wanted to make a point on those 2 videos. So Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, and Blood Bowl 2, I'm probably going to enjoy, and I'll probably end up getting both these games down the line. However, do not pre-order either of these. The problem is companies get away with this stuff because people will pre-order their games, and people will continue to pre-order the games because of the incentives. As with all these sort of things, companies can get away with dodgy business practices because consumers, up to enough extent, are willing to put up with it. People are going to still pre-order the game. The problem is, we need people to stop pre-ordering the games. I think pre-orders don't have that much benefit anyway. They put these incentives to push the pre-orders. People pre-order the game, your money's locked into it. There's less risk for them. You get a bit of an incentive. However, it screws over the gaming sort of just community as a whole. Consumers get screwed over by dodgy business practices. People need to stop pre-ordering games. I think pre-orders just generally, I'm not really a fan of. I don't think they're a wise decision a lot of the time. However, with these sorts of dodgy pre-order bonuses, I think people should just outright stop pre-ordering these games. So Mankind Divided, if I've made any mistakes, I apologise in the video. I think all my information appears to be accurate as far as I'm aware. I did look for any discrepancies, couldn't see any. Please do point them out if I did make any. However, there may be 1 or 2 minor errors in details. However, the general point I'm making I think is fairly valid. I recommend you do not pre-order these games. If you want to still buy them, fair enough. I'll be buying Deus Ex Mankind Divided when it comes out. However, in the way they sit, I just do not pre-order these games. The only way companies are going to stop doing these pre-order things is if people decide, no, this is stupid, we're not going to pre-order these games anymore. It's bad business practices. The only way companies are going to stop doing this if it actually hurts their sales. They do this because it's viable for them, because the majority of people who were going to pre-order the game will still pre-order the game because of these incentives. So I would encourage everyone not to pre-order these 2 games. However, when they come out, they may still be good. So I just thought I'd let people know this information. I wanted to have a bit of a rant on this. And as I say, I wanted to do a video on this for a bit of a while. Excuse me. So, thank you very much for watching the video. I went off, it's probably a bit longer than I intended it to be. So it's probably about a 27-minute video. So I apologise, I went on a bit longer than I intended to. But I just wanted to have a bit of a rant and get all the points I wanted to make across. So thank you very much for watching the video. Hopefully you agree with what I think. As I said, if there are any little problems, any little discrepancies, any false information, please point them out. I'll try and put annotations in to correct any mistakes I may have made in the video. Other than that, if you've got any other information that comes up, please say in the comments. Any other feedback on the video, please let me know. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like or subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. Any other feedback, leave in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Mankind Divided Augment Your Pre-Order. Augment Your Pre-Order is your chance to customize your Deus Ex experience from the very beginning by choosing the pre-order rewards you want.
Start today by pre-ordering Deus Ex Mankind Divided at any retailer and choose your first reward. Choose from rewards like DLC, an art book, an exclusive mission, and more. Combine multiple rewards across different tiers to customize your ideal loadout. As pre-order numbers climb, more rewards are unlocked. If pre-order goals are reached, everyone gets to select one reward from each tier, as well as the ultimate prize. Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Released 4 days early. Claim your rewards when you pick up your copy of Deus Ex Mankind Divided and enter the specially marked code.